guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I just kind of wanted to sit and chat about some of the series that I'm trying to either start this year or continue on with or finish out the series this year. And the majority of these are going to be sci-fi fantasy, with the exception of one series that I want to start that is actually mystery thriller, but we'll get there. So as you guys know, I am a huge mood reader. So if you have been paying attention to any of my old TBR videos that I've done or any of my goals videos for the year, you have probably seen a couple of these on those videos, and it's just because I have not had a chance to get to them yet. So this, I'm gonna say, is the time for me to try and get to these books, but if I don't, guess what? You will see them again next year. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the books that I am trying to continue on in the series or complete the series. So the first book that I want to talk about is Red Seas Under Red Skies. This is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series. So if you've been here and you've seen my best books of 2023, then you know I absolutely loved The Lies of Locke Lamora. So it's only right that I make sure to hurry up and continue on with this series and pick up the second book, which I am very, very, very excited to do so. So then the next series that I want to go ahead and try to continue on with this year is the Murderbot series, and that is by Martha Wells. I have the second book, which is Artificial Condition. I did enjoy that first book. I believe I gave it 3 stars. I really enjoyed the character of Murderbot. I just wasn't the biggest fan of the plot, and that's probably why I wasn't in a really big rush to go ahead and continue on. But I do want to continue on, especially because I had already got the book, the second book. So hopefully I can knock this out and just continue on, especially because this series is mostly made up of short novellas, and it took me about a day to get through that first one, so I should have no problems continuing on with this series. So then the next book that I'm trying to continue on in the series is Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson. It is part of the Mistborn Era 2, so I have been slowly making my way through the series. It's definitely not my favorite books by Brandon Sanderson, and I'm struggling just a little bit because while I am having a good time reading the books while I'm reading them, they're definitely not ones that I am reaching for as soon as I finish one. So I only have 2 more books left to go. It's this one and then that final book, The Lost Metal, and I actually can't wait to get done with this series so that I can continue on with Brandon's other stuff, because I just want to join in on the hype, but I need to knock out this series first. So then the next series that I want to continue on with is, I think it's called The Burning, but this is the first book, The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter, and I am holding up this first book because technically I'm still reading it. I have about 150 pages to go, and I hesitantly say that I want to continue on with the series because this is okay. It is not as good as I thought it was going to be. I love a good revenge story, which this is what this is, but it's not really doing it for me in the way that I wanted to. There were several times throughout this book where I have actually wanted to DNF it, but I've gotten to a point in here where I only have 150 pages to go, so I might as well finish it. And then some things are finally starting to happen, and I just kind of want to see it play out to even determine if I want to continue. But this is hopefully this will pick up in those last few pages where I will want to continue, but I'm not really sure at this point. And then the other series that I'm trying to complete this year, and I know that I'm going to read this year because I really have enjoyed the first 2 books, and this is the Drowning Empire series. The first book was The Bone Shard Daughter, and then this is The Bone Shard War. So I've heard some mixed things about the ending of this. Even though people didn't enjoy the second book as much as they enjoyed the first one, I really enjoyed that second book. So I'm hoping, even though I haven't seen the best reviews about the finale in this series, I hope that I will enjoy it because I have enjoyed the series thus far. Now, the rest of the books that I'm going to be talking about are books that I hope that I can start this year. The first one being Game of Thrones. I think I mentioned this book twice already, where I said that I was hoping to get to it in whatever year I was talking about it, and I still have not read this. Hopefully by the end of this year, I would have at least read a chapter or 2. I really don't want to take this one into 2025 without having at least started it, but we'll see. It's like one of those, if I get to it, I get to it. So then the next one that I'm hoping to start this year is Dune by Frank Herbert. And this was actually not on my radar. This was like one of the ones that after I saw the movie and determined that I liked the movie, I had decided to go ahead and pick up these copies. I just have the first two, with this one being the first one. And I was like, whenever I get to it, I will get to it. It's definitely not a priority until somebody sent me the really nice copies of Dune, and now I feel obligated to read this. So hopefully I can get to it. We will see. Now this book you have seen before, because it was a book that I think was like, I made this prediction video, and I probably shouldn't do that either anymore, where I was talking about some fantasy books that I really wanted to start. This was in that video, and I still have yet to start it. And I think I made that video at least like 2 years ago at this point. Time flies. So I'm hoping this year I will get to Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. I've heard really good things about this one. It has a really interesting magic system, and I haven't heard anyone who has read it say that they did not enjoy it. And I actually have all of the books in the series, so I hope that I will enjoy it, but we'll see. So then I have Red Rising, which is yet another series that I'm hoping to get to eventually this year. But if you guys remember, I DNF'd this a while ago. I don't know if it was the mood that I was in when I was reading it. I don't know if I just had a lot going on. This story, when I was reading it, was not working for me. I did not hate it. I did not. I really wanted to continue with it. But my problem with it was, I think I had got like 100 and something pages into the book that first time I tried to read it. And it felt like it took me a long time to get through those 100 pages. I know that everyone says that this is like the worst book in that first trilogy. And if you get past this one, then you'll probably enjoy the next two. So I've decided that I do want to pick this up again because I was really intrigued with the premise of this story, but I just hope that I can get through it. If I can get past the point where I was the last time, I think we're good. But if I DNF this again, I'm not coming back to it. So the next one that I have here is Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. This was in my TBR video, the only TBR video that I did last year, where I said I wanted to get to this by the end of the year, and that did not happen, which is not a surprise. So this one I do have to read this year. There's no way around it. This is actually my next fantasy read that I will be picking up, only because I'm reading this for a friend. They really want me to get to this. I am going to get to this one, and I believe that I will be doing a dedicated spoilery vlog for this, just to give my thoughts, because I'm really nervous to go into this book, only because I've heard that this author just really drops you into the world. You don't really know what's going on, and I like to know what's going on. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna think of this, but be on the lookout for that vlog whenever it comes out. So then the next one that I have here is Age of Myth by one of my favorite fantasy authors, Michael J. Sullivan. I just feel so bad because I am like a series and a half behind of where he is currently at. And I'm nervous to kind of go into this one because this one is set, I think, like thousands of years before we get like the Rhaeria Chronicles and Rhaeria Revelations, which are two series that I absolutely love because they include two of my favorite characters. So this one has all new characters, and I'm just really curious to see how I will like this one, especially because those other two are like some of my favorites. So this is definitely one that I know that I'll probably get to this year. Another series that I would like to start this year, it's like at the bottom of my priority list for this year, but this is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I have been continuing to buy the books in this series as if I've been reading them, and I haven't. I also have the second book. I did try to read this at one point, and I did like soft DNF it. I think I got like 12 pages in, and I was like, what is this? This one just seemed like it's gonna be really different from like the Court of Thorns and Roses and her Throne of Glass series, and I have to be in the right headspace to read this. I was not in the right headspace when I tried to pick it up the first time, but I've heard really good things about this first book. I'm not really excited to know that a lot of people have said you have to get through like a couple of 100 pages of world building, and then after that it gets really good. that to me is not a really good selling point, but I am gonna try to stick it out. Like I said, this isn't at the top of the priorities, but hopefully I can get to it at some point this year. And then that last series that I said that I wanted to start is actually by Karen Slaughter. I'm really trying to get back into my Karen Slaughter mood. I read 2 of her books. I really enjoy both the books that I read, but now I'm just gonna go in publication order and start with her Grant County series. This one follows like 3 main characters, and I guess they're just solving different cases in each book. I'm not sure, but I know people have really enjoyed that series. And then there's like another series that she has that people really enjoy, but I'm gonna start with this one since she wrote this one first. So hopefully I will get to this, especially because I don't even have any of the books, but I plan to get them at some point, at least the first one. So we shall see. So these are all of the series that I'm either trying to start this year or continue and complete. So if you guys have read any of these books or continued with any of these series and you have some thoughts, please let me know down in the comments below. I would like to hear them. But that is all that I have for you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye.